My brother's going to join us today. We're going to do a little recap and talk about some compelling reasons to get things going. For the first time, and it's crazy, we did a full virtual, good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, good morning.
A full virtual Beggins Next Level University. And it was, I think, really good. We mixed it up. We didn't have to drive. We didn't have to buy lunches. We saved probably collectively 40 hours between Jeff's drive time, my drive time, Thomas's drive time, all the staff's drive time.
Hundreds with all the agents' drive times and shuffling and sitters and all the types of stuff that's involved there. So pretty exciting.
Now the question is, how many people actually paid attention? Or do you put it on and then go do the laundry? Yeah, I don't know. So Jeff, I wanted to ask you, I've got an idea, but what do you think the biggest takeaway was from this? I mean, we had over 100 people, well over 100 people between different events.
In each event, about 100 people, which is pretty cool. And different ones in each event, which is kind of why we did this, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to get the tally up today, but we've got several hundred agents got what they wanted over the last few days, which is really cool.
Right.
So the biggest takeaway, I think the biggest takeaway is different for most people. That's kind of why we did what we did. And I'm curious to get your feedback. Those of you watching, type it in. What your biggest takeaway was from what I've heard and the people that I've talked to that have communicated back with me during and after the events. It was the realization that I really need to get good at my scripts and how important getting the words out of the way is, so you can actually focus on connecting. Right, that's the kind of the theme that I heard from people. But I'm really curious from you guys what your takeaways were for that.
You know, I told you I'm reading this book called The Buddha and the Badass.
Follow the process, Jamie says. I love it.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I think there's a bigger problem. And I wrote down, the bigger problem is most people's problems aren't big enough. That was a quote from my book this morning. Most people's problems aren't big enough. So I'm going to go back to the money game. What does it cost you to live? How much money is coming in? The delta is what you need to make in real estate. And if that's satisfying for you, good. But your problems aren't big enough. Jeff, you made a statement on day one that if you don't have at least 6 months worth of savings in cash, liquid, in your bank account, you're insane. You didn't say insane, you said something else, but your problems aren't.
Let's use the word irresponsible.
Irresponsible would be a good one. If you have still are making interest payments on school loans, that is when you're in this industry and have as much potential as we have, it is irresponsible for you to be paying high interest on student loans. It is irresponsible for you to be paying high interest on credit card debt. When you're in this industry, your problems aren't big enough. I can get by, I can make my minimum credit card payment, boom, 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 boom. No, your problems are not big enough. You need to be real and look at yourself and say, holy shit. God, I'll take you right now to my spreadsheets if you want me to show you. People making $100,000 a month in our company. $100,000 a month would solve a lot of your problems.
Create some too. So you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah, because you got to pay taxes, right? If you don't have a tax savings account that has 20 to 30% of your earnings in it, you are irresponsible. Wow, Craig, what is wrong with you today? Nothing. I just want you to realize that your problems are not, but you don't realize how big your problems are if you're not making this market insanely happy.
You know what it is, Craig? This is Uncle Craig and Uncle Jeff talking, right? In reality of it, because we're telling you what you need to hear because we love you guys, and you need to hear the certain things because the wake up call is, Craig just hit it on the head. The ability for you between now and the end of August or middle of September to have 25 to 50 or 100,000 bucks extra in the bank that you don't know where it's coming from right now this morning is 100% reasonable, and it's a reasonable expectation to have that much money in the bank. This is the business that we're in. So for us not to take advantage of that right now is irresponsible and it's silly. So I love your statement though, that your problem's not big enough, because the problems are what cause the leverage, right?
Right.
You're not gonna, there's no problem paying your minimum credit card payments, right? That you can pay the hundreds of dollars a month because you can do that. The problem comes when they call it due and you have to pay it all in 60 days or they take your house, right? Those are the type of problems that force action when there's no way out. So I think what we really need to think about is how do you elevate and inflate your problems? Because it's either towards pleasure or away from pain. And I think what you're kind of going towards is where's the pain? Because if
Right.
pleasure doesn't do it, where's the pain? That's the issue.
We're trying to find a massive transformational purpose.
Ooh,
And
say that again. I like that. A massive transformational purpose.
an MTP. It's your big ass smile. What's your massive transformational purpose?
And I think let's go deep on that for a second, because I think it's important to know that we're not saying where you are right now is bad.
Nope.
Okay. Where you are right now is perfect because it serves your purpose right now. And where is your transformational purpose, right? What is the next purpose? That because what you have today is a direct result of what you did in the last several months. You guys know that in that game. So the question is, if you're totally, and here's self-awareness, guys, if you're totally happy with the way you are this morning, that's fantastic. And we're going to add a little love to this one. If you don't have savings, then you should feel uncomfortable. Okay. If you are paying debt payments in excess of 6% interest, it's doesn't make any sense, right? So there's your pain, there's your leverage. At least the seed has been planted that you can just go throw 2 extra deals on the books and pay off most of your problems.
Right. And I think what was powerful is this week, we dumbed it down to really, you need 1 qualified appointment a week. Right? And
Do you?
Well, to get caught up, if you're going to have this massive transformational purpose, let's get caught up. You need 6 months worth of living expenses saved up in cash. I mean, most people are anywhere from 3 to 10,000 a month to live. So 6 months is 18 to 20 or 60,000 bucks cash, liquid, right? That can be done. It's just a little short push. So let's just pretend it's 1 qualified appointment. Now, using very specific words, a qualified appointment. We spent a lot of time, mostly you, defining what a qualified appointment was. A qualified seller, meaning one that has to sell. I just had the opportunity to take a listing down the street for $1.5 million. I love that house. And I talked to the seller. They're not a seller. They don't know what they want. There's a new house going up next door to them. They don't like it. There's gonna be building across the canal from them. They don't like it. They're thinking they might want to get a place here in Florida for the winter and a place in maybe Tennessee or maybe North Carolina or maybe Georgia. And they're thinking, I said, you guys aren't ready yet. Will you find out where you want to go? I'll help you with a referral source. There's an extra $1,000 right there. They're going to go buy a $700,000 second home somewhere. And all I got to do is hook them up with a relo call, right? Top of mind, it's all there. And then they'll probably sell this house and buy another $700,000 house here locally too, and have 2 $700,000 houses instead of $1.5 million house.
There you go. And the conversation is I'm sure it did go to this, or it will. It's saying, look, you guys don't need the cash. Let's flip the script for a second. Yes, there's a brand new house going up next to you. Yes, there's brand new houses going up across the canal. Do you know what that means? That means that your equity is going way up. So Why don't you keep this house? Why don't we rent it out? Can you cover your cost if you were to rent it? Why don't you keep it for a couple of years as a rental and then go or tap some equity out of it and go buy something in North Carolina, right? If you can keep it, guys. I'm telling you, this is a good investment held long term. And that's not what they're expecting. Remember, we talked about that a lot yesterday. And
Well,
they're going to say, well,
he called me, and that's what you're saying. He called me and said, we're sorry, we haven't realized we're not ready yet, blah, blah, blah. And I called him back. I said, man, that's the best move ever. There's no better place to be stuck in a pandemic than where you are right now. And he was so totally relieved that I was not putting pressure on him to sell his house. I don't want to sell his house.
Right.
Sell his house.
Because people are going to think that you just want their deal, right? And it's up to us to show that we actually care about them. And then the deals just flow. When you don't try to get the deal, we actually just counsel them and be the knowledge broker and be the trustworthy guy that they can actually talk to and say, what do you think? What is it really worth? Don't blow smoke up my ass. Tell me what it's really worth. I don't want to hear your number to get me excited to sign a listing agreement. Like, what are our real comps? What is it realistically going to sell for? What's the bottom line net sheet in my pocket? And then help me make a decision whether that's good or not. That's really what they're saying.
Because in this particular situation, I've got comps from $279 a foot to $700 a foot. Close comps.
Yep.
Imagine a Powell Beach with a $700 a square foot closed sales price.
That's awesome. Wide open bayfront.
You do one on the Gulf, it was bayfront. You do one on the Gulf for what, $1,100 a foot?
$1,150 a foot, yeah.
And then somebody sent me an email yesterday. The downtown St. Pete condo just sold for $3,000 a foot.
Yep.
Holy cow! This is Tampa Bay. That's Miami pricing.
Well, the building costs right now are close to $700 a foot for high end, super high end luxury. So if you're selling that, it's not unreasonable to pay $1,200 for it. It's nice. That's just building cost. Then you got to throw dirt underneath that, guys. So that's the conversation. People that don't have to sell, they really shouldn't. And you know what? That trust will be worth more than the commission in the future. That's the biggest thing to grasp right now, because I know it might not pay your September bill, but it's going to fuel your wealth going into the future, because the trust that you just bought is huge. And then now you tapped into his sphere, his neighbors, his buddies, his coworkers, his future friends, and you just secured your spot into the future. So that's a different way to think about stuff, guys, is don't be attached to a deal. Don't be attached to an outcome. Don't try to just get a deal. Do not have commission breath. Just help people, serve people, talk with them, see what you can do to help, and be doing that often. So if you're not talking to 5, 10, 15, 20 people a day, how are you going to find opportunities of people that want to do something, guys? There's no other way to do it.
Well, that's where I want to go. I want to take one qualified appointment, be it a buyer or a seller. A qualified seller means they have to sell, they know where they're going, right? Qualified buyer means they know where they're going and they have to buy. So a qualified, we got to find one. How many tools or techniques did we dive deep into in the last 3 days for somebody to find one technique to focus on all day Monday until they get an appointment? And if they don't, they focus all day Tuesday until they get an appointment. And if they don't, they focus all day Wednesday until they get an appointment, et cetera, et cetera. It's almost impossible not to find one appointment with the varied ways we did. So what did we talk about? Did we talk about for sale by owners?
Mm-hmm.
Did we give some really strong suggestions on how to work a for sale by owner? Mm-hmm. Yes. So if an agent, one of the people watching right now, decided to focus on for sale by owners for the rest of this quarter, is it possible they could find one qualified appointment this week? It's highly possible, as long as they don't get scattered and then also do expireds. And
don't get discouraged if you don't, because you really only need one deal this month.
That's right.
You need an appointment this week, but on average, you need to get a deal a month, right? So realistically, or 2 deals a month. Let's say it's 2 deals a month, right? So it's every 13 days could suck, and then that 14th day is good. So that's where the difference lies in those who are successful, those who are not. And today I didn't get anything. That's okay. Tomorrow's my day. Tomorrow I didn't get anything. The next day is my day. I didn't get anything today, but tomorrow's my day. But at least I talked to 5, 10, 15, 20 people today. I implanted some knowledge. I helped some people. I made a positive impact on some people today. And tomorrow's my day for the appointment. Tomorrow's my day for the appointment. Tomorrow's my day for the appointment. Okay, tomorrow's my day for the appointment. Maybe it's tomorrow, the day for maybe I didn't get anything today, or tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. But tomorrow's my day. I can have 13 of those. And if I do that consistently, you know I'm going to get one. So that's the whole thing, is pushing and keeping your mental mindset right to know that it's coming, right? All you have to, it's physically impossible. It's a universal law that it will happen. Once you're committed to something, it's guaranteed that the people, the processes, events, situations will unfold in front of you as long as you're talking with people. So it's impossible for you not to get to where you want to go, as long as you know where you want to go and you're willing to talk to people.
Right. Okay, so here we are here's my brain making it more complicated again. First thing is, you need a bigger problem to solve, because most of us are just comfortable where we are. Second thing is, and I skipped this, but the sales skills. I want to go back. Most brokerages could not teach the sales skills that we taught this week. Now that's a big, audacious statement, but I'll bet you most brokerages cannot teach what we taught regarding sales, which, to summarize, is going into neutral. So knowing your scripts. See, this is where it gets, know your scripts, learn your sales skills, make your contacts. That's the hard part, because we want to skip learning the scripts. We want to skip learning the sales skills. and then we skip making the contact, so we don't get anything done. So
And it's
now
worse than that, because your cousin Betty says that her best friend Susie needs to sell her house, and you roll over with a Pampered Chef party and a couple glasses of wine, and you walk out with the listing, right? And then now you're trapped because you got it. You don't know how the hell you got it. There's no way to duplicate that activity. And then how are you going to get your next one? It creates fear and doubt and anxiety and stress because you don't know what the hell you're doing yet, right? You don't know how you got that. But if you were to have go through the process and say, thank you, friend, let me talk to your friend Susie and explain to her, share how I run my business. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to come talk with you, ask you a couple questions. Then I'm going to come look at the house. I'm going to go do some pricing. Then I'll show up. Then we'll present. Then we'll go through my process. We'll go through pricing. We'll pick a price. We'll sign the contract. Then we'll have a glass of wine at the Pampered Chef party. Okay. So I'll see you at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Which one's better for you? Right. That's the switch, guys. That's the difference of taking control over your business no matter what. And then it's predictable. It's duplicatable over and over and over and over and over. And then you don't mind going through the process. I went through my process. I didn't get that one. I went through the process. I didn't get that one. I went through the process. I didn't get that one. I went through the process. Didn't get that one. But I went through the process. Now I got that one, right? That's how it works, guys. A blind faith has to come through. You can't just willy-nilly not get it and then willy-nilly something else and not get it because you're not getting better. You guys got it? You're not. You're just trying something that's not going to create a predictable, duplicatable business.
Yeah, but here's the problem. I mean, these are the things that keep me awake at night, right? We do things as a company differently than other people do. And we teach real life stuff that works. But right now, everything's so easy for so many people, they don't have to spend the hard time. So it's like, we're the company that's making it hard. We're not making it hard. We're showing you the right way, if there is such a thing, to build a real estate sales business, right? Not just being a real estate agent. Maybe that's why we're not as attractive to some other companies as other agents we are.
Well, because we call it out. I mean, we opened up this morning about how irresponsible and terrible it was, right? So, I mean, we're telling you stuff you don't want to hear, but it's because we love you, right? And those of you who are not building a business right now, you really need to consider building one because I said it, I'm gonna say it again. This COVID thing was a super huge eye opener, right? For me, right? And made me throw the throttle down way harder than it already was way down because and I was in good shape for this one, but I'm going to make sure I'm never not in good shape because things are going to happen, right? Again, one day. And I don't want to even worry about it. I just want to be prepared for it. It's just something that happens, right? So I really want you guys prepared, overly prepared to take advantage of opportunities that come your way, right? What if there's a deal that pops up that you could flip and make 30 grand real quick, but you need to have 30 grand throw down on it. You need to be able to have cash for things like that, guys. It's just responsible. And then if something happens and your income stream gets cut for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, guys, if you can't think that that could happen, just look at the last few months. That could have happened to us very, very easily, right? Really can. So just create the problem, right? Make the problem bigger. Yeah, I love that you opened up with that. I think that's the mantra for the month.
Well, here's my second quote I wrote down from my book this morning. Quit trying to be inspiring, rather be inspired. They're talking about leaders. Quit trying to be an inspiring leader. Be inspired yourself. So I think you just said it. I'm blessed. I'm fortunate. I could not have a paycheck for the next 6 months and all my bills will be paid. Right? That's pretty damn good. That wasn't the case a year ago. Right? It takes time to get to places like that. Extra deals coming along that way. But I mean, I don't want to be inspiring. I want you to be, I'm inspired for you to have no credit card debt, for you. I got an email from an agent I shared with you, Jeff, who remain anonymous. But I was just, it almost like brought tears to my eyes. She told me about her situation growing up and the poor family and how she just paid off her car that she was encouraged to buy, brand new. She had bought her son a car. She had paid off all her credit cards. She had refinanced her mortgage to a lower rate, and she has more cash in the bank now than she's ever had before. Right? Talked to my daughter Jessica yesterday. Poor Jessica, I pick on her all the time. She's got a ton of cash in the bank account right now, and she just paid after paying her income tax bill. Right? That's pretty flipping cool because I've had to help her with her income tax bills in the past. Right? She was very proud of that. So your self-confidence, your everything feels better when you have this. And then for those of you that have secondary income sources, man, start dreaming. You know, Jeff and I went to look at boats the other day. Neither one of us planned on buying a boat, but we went and looked at boats. There's some nice boats out there. I just got the, I'm gonna say this for you, Jeff. I just got the new Yachting magazine.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, this is called Dazzling Design. It is sick, the boats that are in this thing. And so we decided, you know, you can charter these things for, once again, for those of you with the secondary income that covers all your expenses, screw off. You could get a boat like this and charter it for 80 grand for 2 weeks or 100 grand for a week, right? Take find 5 other friends. It's going to have 5 staterooms, 5 friends, 20 grand to live the life of a friggin' mega millionaire on one of these, on a boat like this.
With butlers and maids and cooks and chefs and
all that shit. 20 grand for a week in a lifestyle that on a boat like that. Come on, 20 grand is not a lot of money for if you're in this business. If you are living, if you have a secondary income, your second significant other, or you're retired and you can live off what you have, make extra money and just blow it. And Jeff, what do you say about, I like it when you do it. You know, we're all going to die.
Oh,
you know that? Yeah.
The contemplative state of your life. That part. I'll hit it because I didn't hit it the last couple of days, and I want to hit what you just said too, because 20 grand sounds ridiculous, right? Until you break it down in a second. But yeah, I mean, this whole world is experiences, right? And we're here for an experience, right? We talked about that in a bunch of different ways. But at the end of our experience during this experience, right? When you're old and you're sitting around in a contemplative state, I'll just call it, right? And all you have is your memories, right? And your stories, because that's all life is your experiences, your stories, and what you did, who you helped, what happened, how you got screwed, all those different things are part of your story. And then, so ultimately all you have is your story to tell. So you're going to have a whole bunch of time to tell your story. And it's either going to be, man, let me tell you about the time I did X, Y, and Z, or it's going to be that you sitting there quietly thinking, God, I wish I would have done some more stuff. Right. And I won't be the one that's going to say, I wish I would have done some stuff. Right. And when it comes into my mind, I take that as an inspiration of that I'm supposed to go do that. Right. Most of the things, and just build it. So to Craig's point, 20 grand, let's say next July, right, a year from now, you wanted to grab 4 couples, 5 of you, and go charter a boat. And it's 100 grand for a 10-day excursion, but it's really 20 grand. It's really 20 grand. So between now and July, that's 12 months. I mean, could you find an extra 20 grand over the next 12 months? Of course you could, right? Just peel off one.
That's $1,600 a month.
Right? So, but where's the picture of the boat or the experience? Or are you committed? Do you want to actually do that? Or go to Paris or go to Disney World? I don't care. But do something that puts a big ass smile on your face and spoil yourself, because guys, we work our asses off and we're stressed out and we're aggravating to our spouses, and we do all of this stuff because you're on your phone nonstop, and you should take some time to reward yourself for the activities. And yes, paying for things does help you reward yourself. So pamper yourself, guys, pamper your families, pamper your loved ones, people that put up with our shit all the time, give them a little benefit here and there, right? Of that deal. And say a year from now, we're going to take the baddest trip you could ever imagine. What do you want to go do? There's your dinner conversation tonight, saying next summer in July, you have carte blanche. Go figure out whatever trip you want, and I'm booking it. And we're going in July. And we got about a $20,000 budget, right? So
I remember our money, and was in a situation where her husband was able to support the family very well. And she didn't really need to work from real estate, although she's a master's producer all the time, rest her soul. But one of the most proud moments she shared with me was when she took her entire family to Costa Rica for, I think it was 10 days. Yep. And they did ziplining, they did the beach, they did all this stuff. And it was kids and grandkids and all these people, and they paid for everything, all the meals. And that just made her feel fantastic. And I remember Jackie Stone doing the reunion celebration with a 10-bedroom house with all of her family for a whole week, and splurged and took care of everything. I mean, those are the memories. I remember
Mom took us to Atlantis and got the biggest rock star Michael Jackson suite on the planet. And we
Right.
did a mother-son trip. Remember
Yep.
that's an experience, right? Now the recollections of that trip are way different than if we went to the Motel 6 on US 19 in Hudson,
Correct.
right? We still would have had some bonding time, but we wouldn't have had the funny ass stories that we did in the surroundings and the imagery, right? That's the difference.
And the Cosmos.
Right.
We wouldn't have the $14 Cosmos either.
That's right.
Hey,
But that's the experience.
I chartered a jet and took you and Vipka and Mom and Sue and my kids and Angelique to the Bahamas on a jet.
Yep.
51 minutes from Tampa International Airport to Marsh Harbor in 51 minutes. It's pretty darn cool.
But that's the experience when you're sitting around crapping all over yourself in a wheelchair, right? Sorry to be graphic, but that story is going to be recalled, and it's way better than swimming across on a raft, right? And it's a different experience that he actually just talked about. So that's the thing, guys. What's the experience? What is the why? And if we didn't have the ability to go pull 20 grand down this month, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But every one of us can say, you know what? I need 20 grand. What can I go do? Let me go pull up all the expireds that are $750,000 and up. Let me start there. Let me go into Remine and find the high sell scores that are 750 and up. Let me go on to for sale by owner Searchland and find every FSBO that's 750 and up. Let me go to all the properties on Reddington Beach. There's only 50 of them. And let me see who's been there for a long time, hasn't turned over. Let me go knock on a door and say, hi guys, market's super hot. Have you ever thought about selling your $3 million house? Because I certainly wouldn't mind making 75 grand next month, right? You probably leave that last part out of the script, but you get the point, right? But are you going to go do those actions today or tomorrow? You can. And if you don't, right, the only possible reason why you don't do it is because your problem's not big enough, the dream's not big enough. That's it.
Yeah, because the knowledge imparted over the last 3 days, which is all recorded, which you can go back and watch and watch and watch, is it's not easy, but it's not hard. It just takes a little bit of effort. So if we had to prioritize, it's number one, have a big problem you need to solve. And I think that's really the catalyst that most people, especially real estate agents, don't have. They don't have a big enough problem. Two, you have to learn your scripts. You have to know what to say. And we give you chosen words that we know work. If you're not going to use ours, use your own. But you need to have some scripts. Then you need to have some sales skills, which we taught really well, right? Takes a little bit of practice. Your DISC, your VAK, your pause, you go into neutral. Listen, everything else we do is a series of asking questions. The lifestyle profile part of the buyer representation system is a series of questions that we ask. The listing presentation, the pre-qual for the listing presentation is a series of questions that we ask. The listing presentation is a series of questions that we ask. You don't really say anything in this business. All you do is ask people questions, make them feel comfortable so they trust you, and they give you their business.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
That was good.
That's it. You say nothing. You have to come up with no independent thinking in this business and make very good living. All you do, but you have to follow the process.
Hell, you don't even sell a house. They walk in and go, I like this one, and you're done. When was the last time you demonstrated an oven?
Not only that, they tell you they want to buy it. And then you email them something and they click on their phone. That's our process, guys. Don't tell everybody what we do, because really what we do is we hang out with people, make them feel comfortable, hold their hand as they walk through a process they're going to walk without us anyway. That's the glamorous part. And because once they decide, now our value is huge, because once they decide they want to buy something, our value starts then, right? And that's where I think I want to make sure one of the takeaways is the value we bring to a transaction. You and Kat going through those contracts was epic. Going through those intake forms and those critical date timelines and just the highlights of the contract. That's your craft, guys. You just have to know that. But the intricacies and knowing when to use the acceleration clause, how to put the escrow down, when to put the escrow down, what to do to tighten the loan approval periods, what to do about this. These are the skill sets and then how to call out the BS on somebody else's offer to your seller. Right? That's where we bring our value. And that's calling that loan officer, calling out the fact that they haven't done their loan application yet. Where are their pay stubs? I'm not going to recommend my seller takes the property off the market. You haven't even give your loan officer your pay stubs? Not doing it, right? These are the things that bring value to us, and we're full of it, right? Absolutely full of value. So we have to just know that. But realistically, all we do is come up with something that puts a big ass smile on your face and say, you know what? I'm going to add this to my life, and I'm so committed to it. I got goosebumps and my hair standing up because that's the lifestyle I deserve for myself and for my family, and I'm going to go get it. Boom. Then you just, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hey, what's going on? How are you? What's going on? Hey, you ever thought about this? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And then bing, ding, ching, 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 ching. That's it. And then every quarter we come back together and say, what do you want now? Right? It's like the little genie in the bottle. What do you want now? You want to stay the same? Sweet. Don't do anything different. Enjoy yourself. Right? You want to throttle back and do less? Great. Take some time. You want to go full throttle and make an extra 50 grand? Great. Let's go do that. That's the beautiful part about this business. Whatever you want to do. Fires me up, man. Fires me up. So that's my summary.
It's exciting. And that's why we hire all these people. Because if you haven't noticed, we don't make any money unless you do. Right? Nobody's written a check to Beggins other than maybe the $300 when you first signed on. Right? No closing, no checkie for you or us. And we like our little checkies.
That's right.
And ours are really a lot smaller than yours.
That's right. We got to do more. So that's my takeaway. They're probably tired of hearing our voices for the
yeah, they are. I just wanted to do a half-hour little chat today. So I'm going to recap again. Make your problem bigger because you have bigger problems. You're just hiding from them. Know your scripts of whichever task you want to focus on. Learn those scripts. Right? Practice those scripts. 3, learn the sales skills of going into neutral, knowing your personality type, and addressing the other personality types. 4, make the contacts in whatever lane you're choosing to do consistently. That's it. Those are the 4 things. And then the rest of it's all recorded history.
And have fun.
Yeah, while you're having fun.
Just have fun talking with people, guys. And it's all going to work. So as always, reach out, let us know what you need, go talk with people, get that vision, and just have fun, guys. That's it. Let's go sell some real estate.
Yep, I will do a contract something tomorrow. So tune in. We'll have some ninja skill sharpening sets to go through.
Excellent.
All right.
Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.